If you're new to real estate investing and you're looking at College Station, Texas, you could be making a $52,000 mistake. You see, most people see okay cash flow in this market and they walk away, but they're completely missing the actual wealth building engine of this market. They're not using the wrong property, they're using the wrong scoreboard. I'm Greg Schwartz, I own 25 units here in Bryan-College Station, and I stopped using generic internet math to run my portfolio a long time ago, and so should you. In this video, I'm running a side-by-side battle, generic internet numbers versus my local BCS number. I'm going to show you why a property that looks like a dud on a generic calculator is actually a $138,000 wealth building machine. By the end of this, you'll have the exact local metrics I use while everybody else is stuck in analysis paralysis. So let's dive in. Before we get into the numbers, if you want a great rental calculator, in fact, the same one that I use, check out the link in the description below. And if you want help analyzing Aggie land investments, just shoot me an email. Send it to info@schwartzrealtygroup.com, make the subject line START. And that will get the conversation started. First, the math most beginners use. So you find a nice 3-bedroom here in College Station, Texas, and you go to Google and you pull up a standard calculator and you start plugging in what the internet tells you is safe. An 8% vacancy rate, maybe $1,200 for insurance, or 3% for your annual appreciation. The results? Well, it'll probably tell you that you've got an 8.2% return and a monthly cash flow of negative $129. Most people see the negative sign and immediately move on to another market. They think College Station is overheated or overpriced. Back of the napkin math, this is what most people are working with, and spoiler alert, it's the wrong napkin or the wrong math. I don't know. The point is, before we get into the real numbers, we're gonna need to take a look at actual local expenses. You need to see these true numbers because this is exactly where most people get discouraged and make the $45,000 mistake. Let's run my local real world expenses. First, the looming threat. Texas property taxes. The internet's going to assume a 1.2% national average, but here in Bryan-College Station, we have no state income tax, so our property taxes run a bit higher, 2%. Yeah, I'm talking high. If you're in a neighborhood like Southern Point or Midtown Reserve, you'll also have an additional tax called a MUD. That tax could push your tax rate up another 0.5%. We're talking maybe 2.5%. And don't get me started on insurance. It's not a flat $1,200. I use a percentage-based metric, so if you're buying a single-family home built in the last 30 years, your premium is likely around 0.65% of the purchase price, but of course that's constantly changing, so talk to an insurance provider. When I run all of this locally, my calculation now shows a negative $331 monthly cash flow. It actually got worse than the generic math, but here's where we win. Here is the secret, the Aggie pre-leasing cycle. See, the internet's going to tell you to budget 8% vacancy, but in College Station, we have at least a 4-month pre-leasing season. Because I know this market, I average a 2% vacancy rate across my portfolio for the last 6 years. And property management, this is a huge expense. But what if we leveraged local services, like those that fill your vacancies for you? And then we just take on the day-to-day operations like collecting rent. And of course, with the help of an app, we can do this pretty easily. Well, that's going to lower our cost from 10% to about 4%. So what happens when you swap out 8% vacancy for 2% and stop paying somebody else to collect rent for you? Let's see what the math says. Our cash flow went from a negative 331 to a negative 105. That's a $226 per month increase, or $2,712 back in your pocket every single year. But the real wealth creator, that's the appreciation. Generic math is going to tell you 3% per year, but BCS is fueled by the Texas A&M economic engine. Our historic median home price growth is actually 4.8%. I use a conservative 4.5 on my own deals, and when you factor that in over 10 years, the picture changes completely. Look at these totals. The generic guru or bigger pockets math says you'll make $85,560 over 10 years. My local analysis shows $138,400. That's over $50,000 in difference on a single property. While the new investors are walking away because the monthly cash flow is negative $100, the experienced investors are locking in an extra $52,000 in net worth on the exact same deal. In College Station, cash flow is your defense, but appreciation, that's the offense that actually builds your wealth. And right now, the offense is winning. Oh, and if you want that negative $100 cash flow to break even, just find someone who can get you an extra $105 per month in rent. I know a guy. And if you're a beginner and you're tired of guessing which numbers to trust, you're gonna need a local expert on your side. So shoot me an email, info@schwartzrealtygroup.com. And again, that subject line, just make it START. That's the word START, S-T-A-R-T. Tell me what you're looking for, and I'll send some real data your way so you can stop guessing and you can start building wealth in real estate here in Bryan-College Station. Oh, and be sure to check out this video, hit that like and subscribe, and until next week, you take it easy.